I don't know, Macy. I've just picked up the menu.
So...
Is that the new dress?
Yes. Do you like it?
Mm-hmm. Short.
Why would you say that?
Don't start, Macy. Please don't start. Okay, it was just a joke.
It didn't sound like a joke.
It was just a joke, Macy. Okay?
It's fine. If it was a joke, that's fine.
Don't start anything tonight, okay? It's our anniversary. Let's just have a nice night. Try our best to get through this, okay?
Try and get through this.
This is part 3 of the analysis. You've seen a further clip of the ongoing interaction between the man and his girlfriend. You'll notice at the beginning he fixed her with another stare. This is done to intimidate, assertion of control. He also issues a sigh of disapproval. This, of course, is done to provoke her. And then once again, he returns to tinkering with his phone, showing a lack of accountability for his behaviour by being ill-mannered in front of her, and in effect triangulating her with this object by focusing on it rather than having a conversation with her. She then looks at the menu. He then puts the phone down and picks up the menu. She looks at him. She's evaluating him, the behaviour of the victim who is on edge, hypervigilant, waiting for the next attack, the next provocation, the next blow-up. She's well used to this behaviour. She glances down at the menu and then asks him, "What you having?" It's a fair enough question, one that millions of people every day will ask somebody when they're dining out. He responds, I don't know, Maisie, I've just picked up the menu. He's brusque, dismissive, almost belittling her by saying, "How would I know what I want? It's fucking obvious. I've just picked up the menu, you dunderhead." Putting her down, rather than responding, of course, pleasantly, we're saying, "Ooh, I'm not sure. I've heard that it's a good menu here. I've just started looking." Or, "I quite fancy the chicken," or such like. But no. He finds her question intrusive, a threat to control, and his narcissism causes him to respond in that brusque, dismissive manner. She then goes, "So?" It's not clear what she's going to ask, and then he interjects with, "Is that a new dress?" She confirms that it is and asks him if he likes it. Again, a standard response to such an inquiry. He says sure, and then remarks that it's short. The smile that he gives has no warmth whatsoever, and shows that it is his narcissism attempting to mask again the fury that's churning beneath the surface. She stands up for herself and asks, "Why would you say that?" Naturally, he says it, although she doesn't know this, because he's looking to provoke her. When she asks the question as to why he has made a remark about her wearing a short dress, he then responds, of course, with, "Don't start, Maisie. Please, don't start. It's just a joke." The typical response of a narcissist whereby he provokes her by commenting about the shortness of her dress, and when she queries why he asks that, rather than explain and say, "Well, I think it's rather short, and to be honest, I think it's a bit revealing," or, "Yeah, it's pretty short, but as long as you're happy wearing it, then fair enough. It's your choice." But instead, even though it's him that's been provocative, of course, his narcissism tells him that he hasn't. And when she questions him, his narcissism subconsciously tells him that she's the problem. And therefore, in order to threaten that subconscious control, he's alerted to the fact that she's the troublemaker. His narcissism blinds him to the fact that he's the one being provocative. It doesn't allow him to see that he's the one that's causing the problem. Instead, what it must do is defend him. And when she asks the question, "Why would you say that?" it's challenge fuel. She's providing him with fuel, but is threatening his sense of control. And therefore, to motivate him to prevent that threat to control from manifesting further, the narcissism causes him to believe that she's the troublemaker, that she's difficult. It's likely as well that the narcissism will also be dragging up the idea that she habitually behaves this way, that she's a serial troublemaker. He therefore responds, "Don't start, Maisie. Please don't start. It's just a joke." She doesn't accept this and threatens his control further by saying, "It didn't sound like a joke." He nullifies that threat to control again and states, "It was just a joke. Okay?" Said firmly, as if to say, "Don't argue with me." She responds, "That's fine. If it was a joke, that's fine." And she looks resigned. She's partially giving him control, but it's conditional because she made the reference to the word if. Therefore, his narcissism is motivated to cause him to nullify this perceived threat to control once again. Therefore, he responds by saying, "Don't start anything tonight. It's our anniversary. Let's just have a nice night and try our best to get through this okay." Once again, there is the threat, "Don't you start something," the projection, because it's him that started it with his comment about the short dress. There's the triangulation with the anniversary, namely, "You're spoiling a nice occasion," and then urging her that she should ensure that they have a nice night, where, of course, his narcissism is blinding him to the fact that he is the one that has been unpleasant so far, challenging her when she turned up a little late, being gruff with regard to the drinks order, and now provoking her in relation to the shortness of her dress. Once again, his narcissism doesn't allow him to see that he's the problem. It tells her that she is. It's unclear what the reference is, "Try our best to get through this okay," and this might be alluding to some background problem that exists between them. Perhaps we'll learn more of this as the film unwinds. She responds, "Sure, try and get through this." So she similarly recognizes that there is some kind of issue that has to be addressed, that she recognizes that there is some kind of problem that exists between them. Quite clearly there is. She's in an abusive relationship, but whether that's what's being specifically alluded to remains to be seen. After she says this, which is her effectively giving him fuel again and providing him with control, he gives her that fixed look once again. It's as if his narcissism is scanning her to ensure that there's no sulky look, that there's no rolling of the eyes, that there's no further comeback, that control has been obtained and asserted. We'll now move on to the next section to analyse further of the behaviour between the two of them. Join me there.